Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It's Friday, August the 14th. The year's 2020. Let's talk trading. Time for the weekly wrap up. And as you should know by now, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Trading is extremely risky. You can lose all of your money. If you need trading, investment, or financial advice, seek the advice of an accredited financial professional. And always have your stop loss in place. And your brain management is really important. Don't succumb to any of the fears or regrets. And money management, you got to take the profit before the market takes it back. How you take it is up to you. Okay, for the week, all the weekly open gaps filled. I think they were filled on Tuesday or Wednesday, or by that time. For the week, here we had some interesting range here. Here's the opening range for the week right here, that Monday range. And here's the opening range for the month. And then here's the opening range for the year. So you can see we've been toggling. Price has been going in and out of these ranges for the past couple of days. You notice here we broke the Monday range on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, and on Friday. So any of you trading that horizontal line, if you traded it in the direction of the D1 candle color, you see it would have been profitable. And for the year, we're down 140 pips from the open, 28 pips up for the month. You can see the day we're up 38, so we crossed over that monthly open. Inside bar that we had 4 days ago, you can see we're breaking it again by 2 pips. Lots of inside bar action. And I still haven't fixed that screen. I better write myself a note. Okay, only 3 pairs over 100 with the pound in at 98. And I was talking to Walmart earlier, and he said the pound hasn't crossed the 100 threshold on the daily all week, so kind of a compressed week. Okay, we took out the pivot, but there was no pivot bias since it was between the buy zone and the sell zone here. I know if I would have thought about this when I named it, instead of calling this the buy zone, I should have called it the trade zone or the daily or the open trade zone or something like that. But it's called the buy zone, so it's been called that for almost 2 decades now. Over 2 decades, whatever, close to 2 decades. Or is it going on 3? Something like that. Anyway, you can see here we didn't have a bias, so if you just took the triggers here on this one right here, might have got your fingers burned. This one right here may have got your fingers burned. But you can see that the price was pretty compressed here until about halfway through that London session. Red rats have already feasted. And the weekly, this rat zone is the upper rat zone for the week. In fact, when I was talking the Walmart earlier, when we were calling out where price would go, I said, hey, you know what? This is looks like this is the weekly upper rat zone here. So anybody trading that, you had a nice chance to make at least 20 pips coming out of here. For the pivot, we took it out. Here, we took out the daily, and we had already taken out the weekly, so you can see where those missed pivots lie. Oh, and I think somebody was asking about these indicators. And these indicators, other than the missed pivot bars ago, which is a 2016 donational, all of these are in the TRO build 1200 zip file, or the mother load, whatever you want to call it. wick zone in and out. And you can see we went out. Now we're back in. We might finish inside this wick zone for the day because it's pretty big right here. For the range here, daily range, high minus low. Actually, I guess maybe Walmart uses a different broker. You can see yesterday we hit the 101, but that's Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. You can see compressed ranges there. And I've got the TRO exit playbook. I made a couple of changes, default changes, but you can, once again, these are all inputs. So what I decided was when Walmart was testing it out, and really what he said was, once it moves up, it shouldn't change the message to a lower message. So like if it hits 5 pips and drops back, the message should stay. So I'm going to think about putting that persist in, so once it goes up, it won't reverse on you. So that'll be the message. So right here, it's telling me I should have set the stop loss to 10 pips, which I do, minus 10 pips. So I'd already had that trade before we got into this video. Here on the Walmart lines, off of the sweet spots right here. And somebody was saying they wanted, how did they get the red and the green line? You just get the latest version of this. It's in the TRO build 1200 file. I think it's posted out on Crestlick, the latest one. So that's where you get that indicator. Now, there's some traders out there that were talking about, well, if you take 2 pips and then you take a 10 pip stop, blah, blah, blah. There's something you have to understand. This is trading, okay? Sometimes you're going to win and sometimes you're going to lose. That's just the way it is. And you can move the stop. You don't have to take a 10 pip stop. We've got the exit playbook here. And in fact, using the way I set this pretty much the way Walmart does, with the exception of the trailing stop here. But, when you first enter the trade, it's 0, you enter the trade, you're not down. So you set a 10 pip stop. If it gets to 3 pips, then you're going to move your stop to -3. That's the way he trades. But he might take the 2 or 3 pips. You don't have to let it hit your stop. That's the whole thing. And just to remind you guys, once again, I am not writing EAs. I'm not coding EAs. I'm not posting EAs. Yes, I could, but I'm not. So don't ask. Okay? I'm not doing it. And I've got lots of reasons. I don't have to, I don't want to, and I'm not. Put a gun to my head, and I don't even know if I'll do it then. Maybe you just shoot me. But the point is that, this is set up. This is just a reminder. This is just telling you, this is your exit playbook, part of your trading plan. This is just telling you what to do. After you get out of the trade, then it's just going to say, wait for your signal, or whatever you tell it to do here. It's going to tell you to just wait for signal, okay? And so whatever signal you need to wait for, that's what you need to do. You need to wait for it. But, this endless debate over, well, if it does this or does that. But, Walmart can tell you, I think he just got back from vacation. He said yesterday, I think he took 2 10 pip stops in a row. He got, knocked out. So he's down 20 pips and he just traded his way back, 2, 3 pips at a time. Because he knows statistically that he's going to win about 7 out of 10. So that's what he did. So if he loses 20, he figures, well, I'm going to win the next 7. If I get 3, that's 20. 7 times 3 is 21. I'm out of the hole. So you just keep trading. What else can you say? It's just, trading is trading. Some people out there, I see it in the forums, I see it on the Facebook, I see it in the YouTube comments. You guys are trying to be what I call too cute. You're trying to overanalyze things, And here, this is simple, especially in the boot camp. You take the trade at the line. So right here, if you were taking that trade at the 3100, you'd be down a couple of pips. So what? That's part of trading. This could turn around and run to the moon, or right here, it could run to the middle of the earth. I mean, we don't know. That's why it's trading. It's speculation. And the thing about trading is you got to remember one thing. You got to think about what happens next. After you sell, other people have to be willing to sell at a lower price than what you just sold at. Because if there's nobody willing to sell lower, guess what? Price is going to move against you. Or if you buy and nobody's willing to buy higher, then guess what? Price is going to wind up moving against you. So it's not really what you do so much. It's what happens afterwards. And that's what you don't have any control over. And that's something I've been trying to get traders to understand for years, for decades. You don't have any control over what happens next. So it doesn't matter what analysis we did when we entered this trade right here. Once you put the trade on, that's all behind you. That's all in the rearview mirror. What you have to focus on is now, what's the market doing? Are people giving me an opportunity to take profit? Or is it going against me? And is it at a point where I should consider just cutting my losses? Sometimes you cut your losses early and then it goes back your way. And sometimes you cut your losses early and you're thanking, you're glad you did. But you see, once again, after you exit the trade, what happens next? It's out of your control. The market's going to do what it does. I mean, I was saying earlier this week, I had moved my stop loss up to, break even +1. And the market, in one of those moves, it dipped down, took out my stop, and then ran up like 4 or 5 pips. It's like, did they do that because I moved my stop? Really? I don't think so. I don't think I have a big enough account to make them want to do it. I don't care how, what broker you have. I don't think, unless, they have it so your feed, what happens to you is different than everybody else. Because why would they run that stop on you? Because maybe if they run that stop on me, somebody else could profit. They could profit huge. Maybe all they needed was the market to move back 2 or 3 pips and they can, get out with a couple $100 or a couple thousand or 10,000 because they were trading so heavy. So I don't think, they moved to grab my, one mini lot or one lot. I don't even remember what I had on that trade. So you got to get that nonsense out of your head, guys. And female traders and non-binary traders, you just got to get that nonsense out of your head. Okay? So, everybody, I hope you had a profitable week. And I hope you have a fun and safe weekend coming up. You guys got to be safe out there with what's going on. And when you come back and you sit down at your trading platform, remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So drain the banks and remember to subscribe and like the video and get that exit playbook. Whether you do it on paper or use my indicator, put it in place.